The silence has moved in. It doesn't pay rent, but it's great at taking up his side of the bed and using all the hot water. It's been 12 days, and this new roommate, the silence, is an absolute slob. It leaves its oppressive, humming presence everywhere. In the chair where he used to sit, in the air where the sound of his keyboard mashing used to be. I try to evict it with a landlord of loud podcasts and angry girl music, but every night, it changes the locks and wins. The nights have their own special flavor of pathetic now. A little ritual of self-destruction I've perfected. I con my body into unconsciousness around 11, exhausted from my day job of pretending to be a functional human. Then, like my misery has a union-mandated break time, 3 a.m. hits. My eyes snap open. My heart starts doing a drum solo against my ribs. And my hand, that traitorous appendage, makes its nightly pilgrimage to the phone. Forget Instagram. That's amateur hour. My poison is Strava, the running app. His profile is public, which is basically an open invitation for me to conduct my ghoul-level forensics. I open it, and there it is. Morning run, logged 6 hours ago. 5.2 miles. A new route. He's literally out there, participating in the Olympic sport of running away from me. I zoom in, my face so close to the screen I could kiss it, tracing the little red line of his progress. He didn't go past our coffee shop. He didn't do the park loop where we had our first date. It's a map of a life I don't know. A life that's not just continuing without me, but apparently improving its cardio. And that's when my brain, the overachieving asshole, gets to work. I can see him, earbuds in, probably listening to some aspirational podcast about mindfulness while I'm here mainlining digital despair. The sun's rising. He's not thinking about me. He's thinking about his pace, about that hill, about whether he'll have a protein smoothie or avocado toast. He's just a guy on a run, and I'm a creature in a dark room, dissecting the ghost of his morning workout for proof I was ever more than a footnote. The shame is so thick it has the consistency of expired yogurt. Tonight, the silence is throwing a party. The little red line on the map seems to be mocking me, so I do the one thing every breakup manual, every therapist, every well-meaning friend says not to do. I open our text thread. I scroll up, a deep-sea diver in the Mariana Trench of my own bad decisions, past the cold, sterile logistics about his mail. I scroll and scroll until the water gets warm again, back when the words were easy. I land on a picture of a stupid lopsided shelf he tried to build. It was so crooked we just laughed at it. Underneath my text, "It's perfect because you made it." Reading it feels like breaking into my own house. A noise that sounds like a dying animal rips out of my throat, and that's it. I'm done. My sanity has clocked out for the night. A tiny, rational part of me is screaming from a locked panic room somewhere in my brain. Don't. This is it. This is the moment you officially become the crazy ex-girlfriend. But the loneliness is an anvil on my chest, and this feels like the only lever big enough to move it. My fingers are shaking. Did you ever fix the shelf? It's a pathetic little white flag from a ship that's already at the bottom of the ocean. My thumb hovers over the send arrow, which should really be relabeled, "Detonate my last shred of dignity." I hold my breath, squeeze my eyes shut, and push. The little blue bubble pops up. Delivered. It just sits there judging me. The regret isn't a slow burn. It's the emotional equivalent of food poisoning from a gas station hot dog. Instant and violent. What have I done? I just weaponized a private memory to try and pry his attention away for a single second. And now I wait. The silence in the room isn't humming anymore. Now it's the deliberate, crushing silence of being heard and pointedly ignored. The minutes feel like geological epochs. No 3 little dots, no reply. Just my sad little question hanging in the void. I wanted to hurl my phone at the wall, but just as my muscles tensed, the screen went black. And there in the polished darkness was my reflection. A hollow-eyed creature with greasy hair and a mouth slack with defeat. I couldn't smash it. Smashing it would be a release, a catharsis, and my subscription to that service had apparently expired. I get out of bed and start pacing, a hamster in a wheel of shame. Every object is a smug little monument to my failure. The coffee maker we bought, the stupid plant he named Fernando, who is now my arch nemesis. I feel sticky with humiliation. I don't sleep. I just pace and watch the sky turn from black to a bruised, hungover gray. This is it. The bottom. The next night, I was doom-scrolling my way to enlightenment, trying to find enough internet garbage to clog up my brain. I ended up on a Reddit thread on our organization, watching a time lapse of someone cleaning a junk drawer. Naturally, the secret to my emotional recovery was buried under a comment about drawer dividers. A user named SteadyHands22 had written, "Probably the wrong place for this, but if your mess is less of a drawer and more of your whole life, my therapist gave me this." She called it the 7-day grounding, a list of small physical actions. She said it's not meant to make you happy, it's meant to make you present, to remind you that you have a body that's still on your side. Maybe it'll help someone else, then a list. So basic it was almost insulting. The archive, don't delete the text thread. Archive it, then block the number. The reset, make your bed perfectly. The new path, go for a 15-minute walk. Leave your phone. If you always turn right, turn left. The forgotten taste, eat one piece of fruit you haven't had since you were a kid. The ritual of rest, an hour before bed, change into clean pajamas. The acknowledgement, when an obsessive thought comes, say to yourself, "I see you," thought, and then imagine it floating away. The first sound. The moment you wake up, name the first sound you hear. That line. Remind you that you have a body that's still on your side. Mine felt like a haunted house I was trapped in. I'd try anything. Day 1, the archive. I found our thread. Archiving it felt like putting a cursed object in a box and shoving it in the attic. Then the block. My thumb shook over the button. The ghost of my unanswered text burned. I pressed it. Panic then, nothing. The phone felt like just a phone again. Day 2, the reset. My bed was a nest of grief. I stripped it and remade it with the precision of a serial killer. One small, non-disgusting rectangle in my swamp of sorrow. A win is a win. Day 3, the new path. Leaving my phone was like a voluntary amputation. My hand kept twitching. I stood outside. I always turn right. I turned left. The world didn't end. I saw a cat. Big stuff. The next few days were a blur of these stupid, simple tasks. I bought a plum at the grocery store. It tasted like not crying, a welcome change. I put on clean pajamas. The thoughts still came roaring in. He's probably on a date. But I'd just think, "I see you," thought. It was like politely nodding to a heckler and then showing them the door. This morning was day 7. I woke up. The dread started its climb. But I had my orders. The first sound. I listened. A car splashing through a puddle. And my next thought wasn't his name. It was. It must have rained. An anticlimactic miracle. A minute ago, making tea, I saw my reflection in the dark kitchen window. I stopped. I still look like I've been living in a cave. But the frantic, haunted swamp monster I saw in my phone screen is gone. My face just looks quiet. It looks tired, but a deep, settled tired, not the wild panic of before. I looked at myself, and for the first time in what feels like a century, I didn't see a victim. I saw the slightly less haunted protagonist of this sad little story. So if you're reading this in that soul-sucking hour of the morning, your thumb hovering over a name that feels like an open wound, listen. I'm not fixed. The ache is still here, but that dumb list from a Reddit stranger was a handrail in the dark. It was sticky and I didn't know where it came from, but it kept me from falling. It won't heal you, but it might be the first step. Put the goddamn phone down. Just for tonight. Tomorrow, try day 1. It's a start. It's a way back to the ground.